video begins and our trio has been reduced to a mere duo. Directly following the death of this simulation's version of Jeremy, the duck and Danny know something's off, but can't exactly put their finger on what. Whoever is in charge of the simulation has wiped their memory of who their friend Jeremy is. The duck looks at a drawing of the three of them, but is still unable to figure out what's going wrong. But then the simulation shifts, and the drawing turns into one where Jeremy is out of the window, representing him being outside of the simulation. And as for the duck, in the picture, he's dead. But Danny has an evil look on his face. This is the first time that we get three teachers at the same time, almost as if the person controlling the simulation is trying incredibly hard to keep them from breaking free. Then the phone rings, and the duck is transported. The teachers give a lesson on food, but it doesn't make any sense. It's like the person running the simulation is having trouble making the teachers convincing, and this is exactly when the duck begins to question them. The phone rings once again, but before the duck can get to it, the teacher turns it into a sandwich. The duck knows something's wrong, but the teachers continue to try to distract him. Danny, on the other hand, is being heavily influenced, just like before. Then the duck finally snaps and says that he can't do this anymore. He is then transported to a hospital bed, where a giant can rips him open. Unable to move, the duck watches as the can eats him alive. The show continues to play out through the TV in his room. The duck has been shifted into a new simulation, one where the sole purpose of it is to punish him. The duck is completely torn apart and put into cans that are then fed to Danny by the teachers. Danny has eaten the remains of his last friend. Alone, bloated, and disgusted with what he's done, he sits alone in an empty room with the remains of his friend scattered across the counter. Then the phone rings. The video ends and we see who was ringing the phone. Jeremy. Jeremy escaped the simulation and the location where he was being held prisoner. Wearing clothes, it's clear Jeremy has made it back to the real world. Or has he? Now, as for a more interpretive look on this video, it's clear that the message is against the advertisement of food. The food industry is capable of manipulating people into buying products that are extremely bad for them. From products like bottled water with salt in it, pizza, sugary cereals, and even fruit with too much pesticides on it. Foods that are being marketed with the backing of paid-off doctors that make it seem healthy. The episode goes to show that in the end, the food industry leaves us feeling horrible and disgusted at times with the things that we eat, eating processed foods, oblivious to where they came from and how they were produced. In episode 6, Danny is alone. His friends are gone. However, Danny's memory has managed to come back to him, as he is seen remembering and missing his friends. But then, against his own will, this episode's teacher, a lamp, takes him into another fantasy world. Danny has had this situation play out time and time again, and all it's brought him is suffering and the loss of his friends. At 57 seconds in, Roy is seen watching this all play out. The lamp is angered by Danny for not listening and drowns him in oil. Then it flashes to Jeremy, where he's working a 9-to-5 job in the real world. And Jeremy is clearly suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, a syndrome that occurs when hostages or abuse victims bond with their captors or abusers. Jeremy misses the torturous songs that the teachers would sing, and he mimics this by saying, "Wouldn't it be cool if the file started singing?" Jeremy is having an extremely hard time adjusting to the real world after being made a puppet for so long. He struggles to get along with coworkers, or anyone for that matter. So he does the only thing he can do. He performs a song, but is quickly booed off by the audience. "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" can also be seen as an allegory for the entertainment industry, specifically with children or young adults. The industry forces them into a false reality, forcing them to be homeschooled and spending hours and hours on set. The stars of these shows are, unfortunately, turned into puppets of the industry. And when the star finally breaks free, they struggle to live a normal life. And so, like a doomed childhood star, Jeremy, suffering from Stockholm Syndrome of being a puppet, he returns to the simulation where he was made a prisoner. But who is controlling everything is the question. Who is in charge? And was Jeremy captured once again? Or was this just another simulation? A simulation he was put in to truly show him that if he ever leaves, he'll never be able to readjust to society. This entire real-world experience that Jeremy goes through was just another simulation he was put in to prove his only worth is in performing on the show as a prisoner. And by the end of this episode, it's obvious who is calling the shots. Danny's father, Roy. And our proof is in this clip where the three have been captured, and Danny says this.
"Oh dear, we're all tied up."
Very strange indeed. I have no memory of tying myself up or falling asleep here.
Why are we in my dad's house?
Why are we in my dad's house? Danny's father, Roy, is the one orchestrating these events. He's the one that sent the bear to kidnap them, and he's the one who has put them all in a simulation. And in episode 2, I did mention that I didn't believe that Danny was fumbling his words when he called his father a computer. What Danny really meant is that his dad is the one controlling the computer that hosts the simulation. In an official interview that came out May 2nd, 2016, we get a little more insight into the depths of these characters. Ahead of the final episode, we took an opportunity to interview the cast of the show and shoot them in a style worthy of their global superstar status. After whacking our brains for an angle, we found that the questions that needed answering had already been asked, but not answered in the script of each episode. To saute your curiosity and probably further confuse things, we asked these questions that have been previously posed by a computer, a lamb chop, a hallucination, and the stars themselves. The questions are mundane and don't inflict any real answers to the series. They asked questions like, what's your favorite color, or where do you live, and what's your favorite food? However, the responses from each character are very intriguing. At times, the responses make little sense and are sometimes completely irrelevant to the questions being asked. The questions that do stick out from the interview are the following. Okay, now I'm going to ask you guys a few simple questions. Where do you live? I live in my house. I live in my house. I just don't know anymore. What is your favorite color? No. Medium brown. Once in a while. Do you have brown hair? No. Yes. I pride myself on being fully bald. Under this, what is your blood type? Inside mainly. Wide spiral. Cream. What do you find exciting? Nothing. Yogurt. Shape of a boat? Shape of a hat. What happened after the olden days? Time. I'm as long as a train. Oh God, I see what you're doing here. What do you love? Crisps, a fountain, some wizards. I don't know. Bono? Anyone who loves me back. What is love? I don't know. I can't remember I think he's a little baby pigeon. Bono. What do you dream of? It's always the same. I'm about 10 years old, lost in the woods. I can feel something following me, calling out my name, getting closer and closer. I try to scream, but nothing comes out. Eventually, I wake up from the boredom. Dog leather, all kinds of leather. I dream that my middle is haunted. Roy, do you have anything to add?
My silly boy has allowed his eyes to grow arrogant and rude. For this, I will take him on a trip to Punish Land.
Jeremy is clearly haunted by his past, in fear that something is coming to get him. The duck is lost and alone, wanting love from anyone that will give it to him. And Danny is constantly being neglected and abused by his father, who calls him arrogant and rude and plans to take him on a trip to Punish Land. Our last video is a trailer on what's to come of the series. The three are entering a land called Clay Hill. They're being pushed further down the rabbit hole that is the simulation. Jeremy wanders the woods of his reoccurring dream where he's a helpless 10-year-old being chased, unable to scream. The three are in a new living room, and we can see that Danny's ruined painting from the first episode has been restored, further proving the simulation theory because this painting was destroyed long ago. We can also see the clock hanging over the three, presumably watching them to keep them in line. And we finally learn Danny's true age. Danny is 38 years old. We also see that Danny has stumbled upon the computer controlling the simulation. Jeremy also seems to be rocking a pink mohawk in this shot. Perhaps this could be an embodiment of his past self. We get a shot of the duck looking into an empty room, and the way we know it's the duck is based off the shadow. We can also see a portrait of a character we have yet to meet. The room has been thrown apart, almost as if someone was in here looking for something. We see Jeremy and someone else standing next to him, possibly the man we saw in the portrait. And from the looks of it, it looks like they have been banned from Clay Hill, with an aggressive looking lock that doesn't look very happy to see them. We can also see a camera watching them. The last shot of this teaser is of a door. A door that leads where? A door that lets them out of the simulation? Or a door that leads them deeper inside? That we don't know. The story of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared revolves around three friends that love each other. However, these friends were captured by Danny's father, Roy, and put inside a simulation. And now I do strongly believe that the three were part of a real TV show, and Roy is emulating that in his simulation to make them believe that this is reality. Calling back to the second episode, Jeremy talks to the camera crew because that's what he would do if he were on his normal TV set. The three are slowly being conditioned to accept this new reality with each teacher they come across. But the question still remains, why? Why condition these three to accept the rules of a false reality? For ransom? I doubt it. Perhaps ransom was a perk, but it wasn't the reason. Roy's intentions are unknown to this day. Until the next installment of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, our protagonists remain trapped in a prison with no sense of time. Countless simulations taking place at once, all inside an eternal prison. And that was Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared explained. Hope you enjoyed that spicy little video. Huge shout out to you guys because we're almost at 10,000. That's insane to me. We were like at 5,000 not even that long ago. So it's really crazy. So I'm super grateful for you guys. So I do have to start working on a 10,000 subscriber special, but that will come very soon, I hope. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video because yes, I make these for you. surprised. And if you like this 2-part series, I also have a two-part series explaining 2 other horror series videos, those being Harmony and Horror Explained, and we also have the Walton Files explained as well. So if you want to check out those videos, they will be linked in the description, or they will be at the end of this video as well. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Stay safe, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.